Juan-o's world.
My baby mama trippin', she been going through my phone. Tired of me cheating, I can't leave these hoes alone. Hella pics, hella tips on my cash app. It's like, hold up a minute every time that I'm in it. Got the whole room spinning, can't explain how I'm feeling all day. I've been sipping.
Okay, now the conversation of diss songs or diss tracks in rap has been going around. What's your best? What's your favorite? It's been a lot of them, you know. Eazy-E, Real Compton City G's, Tupac, Hit 'Em Up, one of the most disrespectful. Ether, almost a career ender right here, you know. Jay-Z's Takeover, a real expose. But most people think the first diss songs were, Vaseline was the first diss song. You know, Ice Cube, first man to write a song and put another man's name in it and diss him was Joe Tex.
I got your letter. It came to me today. You said I could have my baby back, but I don't want her that way.
So there you have it. Even back then, entertainers was getting into it over women, and women was going back and forth between them, getting pregnant by one after dating the other, and causing all kind of hysteria.
Brown. The tension between Joe Tex and James Brown didn't start with just a song. It became one of the most talked about rivalries in soul music. Many insiders, including the legendary Little Richard, believed that Brown had borrowed more than just inspiration from Tex. From flashy mic tricks to signature dance moves, Brown's act looked strikingly similar to what Tex had already been doing on stage. Their feud is said to have begun in the mid-1950s, when both artists were signed to King Records. At one point, Brown even challenged Tex to a performance showdown during a dance at a local juke joint, a bold move that stirred the pot further. But things really escalated when James Brown released his version of Baby You're Right, altering Joe Tex's original lyrics and crediting himself as a co-writer. That betrayal stung, especially when Brown's version became a hit. To make matters worse, Brown also started working with B. Ford, a singer who had previously dated Tex. After recording the duet, You've Got the Power, with her in 1960, Brown sent Tex a personal letter saying he was done with Ford and that Tex could have her back. Joe Tex didn't let that slide. He fired back publicly and musically with a sharp, no-holds-barred single called You Keep Her Silent. The animosity between Joe Tex and James Brown wasn't just about music. It was personal, bitter, and eventually dangerous. By 1963, that hatred erupted in a way that stunned everyone around them. One widely told version of the story begins at a club in Macon, Georgia, where both
Joe Tex didn't take it quietly. He hit the studio and dropped a scorching diss track called You Keep Her. Right out the gate, he name-dropped James Brown and threw jabs like, I taught her how to dress, I told her how to fix her hair, but you can have her now. There was no disguising who the target was. When James Brown heard it, he flipped. He was already infamous for his wild, unpredictable behavior, and this pushed him over the edge. He got word that Joe Tex was scheduled to perform at a spot in Georgia called Club 15. That was all it took. James armed himself with 2 shotguns, rounded up some of his crew, and rolled into the venue like it was the final scene of a gang.
Freeze! Just want to remind y'all, James Brown was on parole at this time.
His men followed close behind, locked in and deadly serious. The mood inside flipped instantly. Fear swept through the room, people ducked, staff ran for cover, and the music came to a screeching halt. Otis Redding reportedly hid behind a piano amidst the chaos.
Ain't nobody
Brown
coming
fired
to
off
see
some
you,
shots,
Otis.
not directly at Joe Tex, but loud enough to deliver a terrifying message. No humans were hit, but according to the story, a couple of hogs were hit and didn't make it. The club's owner apparently kept pigs behind the building, and they became the only...
So not only was they making diss records, but Joe Tex pulled up to James Brown's town and performed his diss song and dropped his location. And James Brown pulled up to crash out. Back then.
Casualties that night.
Back then.
Afterward, James and his crew jumped into cleanup mode. They knew things had spiraled out of control. To keep things quiet, they handed out cash to whoever needed convincing. A few bucks here, a little more there, just enough to buy silence and avoid legal trouble. No one got arrested, no one got charged, but what went down that night became one of the most chaotic and unforgettable episodes in music history. All over a mic move, a woman, and a diss track that struck a nerve. James Brown didn't just run the stage, he made it painfully clear.
It was real funny to hear this story and correlate it with things that we see today and to see how much of the same it is. Starts with a fine woman. Then you got the bigger star and versus the dude that never really got his shine. And they face off, kind of like how things go today. And the woman lives on. Both men are overly affected. People may have died. In this story, only a couple pigs died. But nowadays, a couple dudes died. And James Brown could have damn sure killed a few people in there. And with that being said, it shows you how nothing is new under the sun at all. Now, the fact that James Brown didn't go to jail for this is amazing, because we all know nowadays people would have told no matter how much money they gave you. So with that being said, y'all have a good night. And this right here was the first diss song. We out.